What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Sports Talk on Tap podcast. We're here. You can find daily videos Monday through Friday covering all the four major sports leagues, whether that be MLB, NHL, NFL, NBA, games, news, highlights, all that fun stuff. And Nick, it was obviously a big weekend in the baseball world. Some big series that we'll go about. But first, Nick, got to start with my Twins. What started off so promising ended up just being a disappointing weekend. Friday doubleheader, able to take both. Unfortunately, lose yesterday or 2 days ago, 2-1. And just a defensive battle. Offense couldn't do anything. And then, despite getting 11 hits, only 3 runs. Byron Buxton, though, hitting 2 home runs in this one, with all 3 RBIs accounted for. So overall, end up being a split. You got to 1.5 games back to Cleveland, back to 3.5. And then now you have a big series at home against the Royals. So if you can win 2 out of 3, I'd still call it a successful, big week with the Guardians, 4 games, splitting that. And then, obviously with the Royals, a 3-game series. But overall, started off really good, ended a little bit disappointing. You wish you could have gone that. But, at the end of the day, there was a lot of bright spots to take away, but with the injuries to Correa, and still, it's just we need some more offensive help in the back end. But there was also a lot to take away, and Nick, am still, waiting for the Byron Buxton apology. Not sure when it's coming or if ever, but I mean that boy just different this year. And you're not high on the Buck truck. You ran him out of town, but he's here. He's here to stay.
I'm more higher on, I should say, the Bailey Ober train. That kid can deal. He's been
got out Bailey Ober Friday night.
Incredible.
Is he winning Cy Young now? Is he in Cy Young talks? Is the big question.
I don't know about that. I'd still say Scooball's probably in the lead for that, but Bailey Ober, I would say, has definitely put his name in that hat. Like there's not a clear cut runaway Cy Young in either league. So it's going to come down to who finishes better. And right now, Bailey Ober, I would say, is the hottest pitcher in the American League. Hot take.
Yeah, no, he was amazing. Big win this weekend. Just 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, only 2 hits. His record on the year obviously is everything but 12-5, 3.5 ERA, but most impressively 0.97 WHIP. So he's really, if it wasn't for actually coincidentally 2 bad starts against the Royals, and he'll be facing the Royals this week, so that they for whatever reason have his number. It needs to be a redemption time. You got Pablo and Ober. I'd like to win at least 2 out of 3, just given those guys. But hopefully overall, great outing for Bailey Ober earlier this weekend. But Nick, you're on the Bailey Ober train. But whatever I can do to get you on that Byron Buxton hype train, I'm willing to help you.
Here's what I'll do. I'm gonna take a quick look at Byron Buxton's numbers this year. And I'll tell you where he needs to be.
Pull it up on the thing right here. Pull it up on the thing here. So you look at it together.
Share this tab. Okay. This is Byron Buxton, 2024 regular season. He's got 16 homers, pretty solid. 280 average, that's really good. Here, but I'm going to take a look at games played. So he's at 89 games played. There's like 45 games left. So I want to see.
So he's on pace to play He's on pace to play at least like 115.
I was going to say 120. I want to see. That's what? That's another 30 games probably.
Yeah.
Which I bet you could lead to if he gets to, I'll say 22 homers. Gets to 120. The games played is the biggest part for me. If he can get to that, I'll probably apologize and say you had a pretty solid year. Because for 120 for Byron Buxton, as you can see, he's only reached 100 games one other time. So if he can get to that, 110, 120 games plethora, I'll tip my cap. I'll say, you gave your team a lot this year. But I want to, if this average stays where it is, end of the year projection numbers, he'll probably have 20, 25 homers, my apology will come then. But
All right.
I hate seeing injuries, knock on wood, but if he goes down next series and is done for the rest of the year, I'm just gonna have to say I told you so. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but
I don't want
we'll
to,
see
but
when Byron Buxton puts a dagger in the Red Sox playoff hopes in Fenway mid September.
When we get to that,
I'll make sure to let you know. I'll make sure to remind you who's who. That Byron Buxton is that guy still. But yeah, overall, end up being a split. Kind of disappointing given you jumped out to that 2-0 lead, but could have been worse. But big series against the Royals, so hopefully win at least 2 out of 3. That's what I'm most focused on now. Still 3.5 back, so still very doable. But just hopefully Correa comes back soon. So overall, 5 out of 10 weekend for my Twins.
The split is probably the next best thing that could have happened. You either taken 2 or 3 out of 4, or you're splitting with one of the best teams in the American League. So it shows you can hang around with them and beat them, which is nothing bad.
True that. And then we move in, Nick. Should we talk about the Red Sox or just pretend this weekend never happened?
No, I do want to talk about it. I've got a few things to say.
All right.
You can call me, I know I'm more of a pessimistic Boston fan where if something goes wrong for like 2 games, I think the sky is falling. But I think this weekend, and honestly, it's really been, building up since the end of the All-Star or after the All-Star break. But this weekend, they've now lost 4 straight. I think the Red Sox playoff hopes are dead. I understand they're, still 6 games above 500. You can still get hot. But everybody else this weekend, the Royals, the Twins, Orioles, Yankees, all those teams won. All those teams gained ground. I think the Red Sox might be 3 games back, 3 or 3.5 games back of the Royals, and just their pitching. James Paxton got hurt yesterday. I don't know how long or short term that is, but that just doesn't help an already pretty bad pitching situation. But their bullpen is atrocious. They can't help themselves when it comes to giving up a game. I think it was Friday night, first game of the series against the Astros. Sox are up 3-1. Lucas Sims goes in, pretty solid reliever that they just picked up, gives up a 2-run homer. I think the Astros end up scoring like 5 in that inning. Astros going to win. Like it's frustrating, like to the point where I'm not even mad anymore. It's just like I'm expecting them to give up the game. If a starter goes out and has a good start, or if they win a game off pitching, I'm like shocked, which is crazy because the first 2 months of the year, that's all the Red Sox were doing is pitching good. Cutter Crawford was looking good. Tanner Houck was looking good. Brian Bayo was okay, but the Red Sox pitching was what carried them through those first 2 months. And now it's just, I personally think it's just fatigue because Tanner Houck's never pitched this deep into a season. Cutter Crawford never has. Really, the only guys that have are maybe Nick Pivetta and Brian Bayo, and those aren't, aces to say the least. So I know Brian Bayo, but it's just, and I'm not even mad at the lineup. Obviously they played awful this series. The Astros have just really good pitchers, so I'll tip my cap to them. But I do think the Red Sox not picking up 1 win against a team that's really trying to overtake them in the wild card, I think that killed their playoff hopes. So call me negative. Maybe the Red Sox go on a 15-game win streak in September. I'm not putting any money on that. So it was fun while it lasted. Thanks. I appreciate Alex Cora for keeping this team competitive. The one good news we got this weekend was the Red Sox top 3 prospects all got called up to AAA. So that just means one step closer to the big leagues. So we'll probably see all 3 of those guys in the majors next year. So that'll be fun. But when it comes to this year's team, they just they don't have what it takes. I don't think pitching
wise.
We'll
see what they do this week. I'm not ready to call it the end of the season, but we'll see what happens this week.
I'm much more negative than the average fan. I'm just,
but rightfully so. I mean, you at least want to win one, and they couldn't do that. But we'll see this weekend or this week because they have a chance to make up for it still. But with that being said, obviously some other big series. Yankees, Rangers, that was a insane series that ended up, yesterday getting capped off great. Yankees pull it out though, and all the Rangers come back. So, credit to the Yankees after that little bit of a slump they were in, or not really little, they were in a slump for it felt like 2 months. They kind of, snapped out of it a little bit, and they're kind of, gained back ground.
I think their offense is back. Soto and Judge went crazy
up
yesterday.
to 70 wins now on the year, so you'd love to see that. And then if we scroll down a little bit, Nick, obviously we can Dodgers sweep the Pirates. Teoscar Hernandez gave Paul Skeens some fits Saturday night. Teoscar Hernandez, that's my guy.
He's having a career year, man. Shout out to him.
I had the confidence to pick him when no one else did, and I'll stand by that prediction. But Nick, Diamondbacks take 3 out of 4 from the Phillies. So maybe it's the Phillies continuing to slump. Maybe it's just the Diamondbacks are that team right now.
Dude, you know how insane this is? Look at the Diamondbacks, a team that were not in the playoffs before the All-Star break. They are 3 wins away from the Phillies. The Phillies were far and away the best team in baseball at the All-Star break. They are just this could be a catastrophic collapse. This could be like what the Yankees did last year, or not last year, 2 years ago, where they were 65 and 25 at the All-Star break. And then it was Aaron Judge and then a bunch of nobodies in that lineup. So, shout out to the Diamondbacks, first of all. That was a great pick on your part. That offense is hitting the absolute crap out of the ball.
I knew it too. And my boy Corbin Carroll's homering now, it feels like every game. So, Nick, do I need to get into, just baseball analytics? They're now atop the wild card. Shout out your Padres too, same record. Also, well in the wild card. And these teams just it felt like a month and a half ago were below 500. So, I'm loving
two hottest teams in baseball. They're charging up on the Dodgers too.
Yeah, the crazy is they're 3.5 back from the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are the number 1 seed in the National League. So
I do think Mookie Betts is coming back though, which is going to be really big for the Dodgers, just because I think their offense.
But the Diamondbacks are just hot right now. Diamondbacks would.
They have Ketel Marte's putting himself in MVP talks. How he's playing in the second half. He's got I think 10 or 11 home runs, so he's going absolutely.
Very impressed. And then also, before we wrap this up, I just want to give a shout out because I saw it on this Discord. The Minnesota Twins are calling up their right-hander prospect, Zebby Matthews, who's one of the biggest fast-rising prospects in baseball. Has really good stuff. So maybe he can help out that pitching that has obviously been a question mark. And Nick, I don't know if you heard over the weekend or so, Joe Ryan is going to be out until the end of September. So we need as much help as we can get, relievers or anything. So, the injuries, hopefully they don't catch up to the Twins and force them to, skid. Hopefully they can just remain in the hunt until they get these guys back like Correa. But it wouldn't surprise me if Joe Ryan is just out for the rest of the year, which is unfortunately sucks.
Hopefully if he's out for the rest of the year, it's just to rest him for playoffs. But it's you got to make it there first of all. So maybe you'll see late season need a big win. Joe Ryan says he's good to go, so he'll give you 5 or 6 of his best innings.
Could be against the Red Sox. Could be against the Red Sox late September.
Could be, yeah. He shuts down the Red Sox every time he plays them, so that might be his first game back start.
Top of the 9th, Red Sox up 2-1, runner on first, 2 strikes. Byron Buxton goes over the monster.
This Red Sox bullpen, there's no way they're only giving up 1 run. There's
no, it'd be a 2-run homer.
No, but I'm saying there's no way it's 2-1 going in. It would be 8-2 Twins going into the
And then Johan Duran can come in and, I don't know, either blow it or win it. But he's been good, so I'll go win it. But should be exciting though. Obviously, big week of baseball coming up. Like I already talked about, Twins Royals. That's going to be a huge series. And then obviously, Nick, the Red Sox. Do they have the day off, or do they get right back? Nope, they get right back into it.
No,
hosting the Rangers. So
sliding Rangers.
That may be good.
The Red Sox are also sliding. So It's a battle of
maybe that'll be good. It'll be a good thing just to get that taste out of their mouth. Just try and end it tonight at home, and snap against the team like the Rangers that are probably hanging on by a thread right now for any playoff hopes. So we'll see what happens though. Obviously, should be some great series. Yankees White Sox will be a movie in Chicago, so should be fun. And obviously Dodgers Brewers, that'll be exciting as well. But a lot of great series, and hopefully Twins and Red Sox can pull out some dubs, which should be fun. But with that being said, as always, let us know your guys' biggest takeaway from this weekend. If you're an Astros fan, make sure to let Nick know. But as always, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. And we'll catch you next one. Peace.